good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Welcome to Tea Time. I'm so glad you're joining me. It is Monday night, July 15th. I'm going to talk about my weekend and get to my in-studio guest because I'm so excited he's here. Friday, I didn't do too much. I actually just studied lines because I'm actually filming this coming week, Friday and Saturday in Staten Island, a movie called Uninvited Guests. Directed, written, produced, everything by Omar Moore, who did Me and My Nuts. And Saturday night, we did Murdered by the Mob in Manhattan. Murdered by the Mob, go to murderedbythemob.com. I play Bunny. There I am in my blonde wig. And it's so much fun. It's like going to an Italian wedding. You eat, you sing, you dance, you drink. Someone gets whacked. You got to figure it out. A lot of audience participation, which is a lot of fun. It's so cool. We have a great time. Our next show is on the 27th. So just go to murderedbythemob.com and see all our upcoming shows and to get tickets. Sunday is Laundry Day. And again, studying more lines. So I want to get to my in-studio guest because, as you know, my show goes really fast. But I'm excited he's here.
Me too.
Oh, that's what I forgot to ask you before the show. But now you can tell me. He's an actor and he's also a singer. Charlie, now say your last name because...
Sousa.
Okay, because I don't call him that. It's Sousa. I love it.
Sousa, actually, but Sousa.
Yeah.
Right.
And he and I met years ago in acting school, and we became good friends. And we like to hang out. We like to sing. We like to act. Yeah, we like to do karaoke. And I've been wanting him on the show for so long.
Time.
But he said, you have to get me in the summer.
That's it.
Because his work hours interfere, and we're going to get into that. So I'm just glad you're here.
I'm glad to finally be here.
And we're forever. Queens people.
That's right.
I'm originally from Corona, then Bayside. And you're originally
Ridgewood,
landing in Howard Beach.
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
I think it's 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up. I was born in Ridgewood, so it's got to be about 23 years that I'm in Howard Beach.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
But it's almost like being in another part of the world. It's weird because Ridgewood is, I don't know if you know it, but it's very...
Yes, I know the difference.
Yeah, it's very close. You have 4 or 5 family houses, 6 family houses.
Yeah.
So you go outside, all the neighbors are there, Howard Beach, I love it. It's a little different, though. It's like,
very
you don't even know your
different.
neighbors,
It's very different.
Yeah, it's nice, though.
So you went to Christ the King High School.
Yeah.
And when you were in high school... did you participate in any kind of acting or singing?
I did. I almost didn't
chorus?
make it in. No. So actually, the singing is, I like karaoke great, if anything. But the acting, what happened was, my sophomore year, they did Grease. Who doesn't want to do Grease, right?
I did Grease.
Yeah, I think everybody went through their Grease stage.
Who'd you play?
I ended up playing Sonny, but I was given originally Eugene. So I think I was one of the younger ones. Everybody else was either on their way out, juniors or seniors. And I was so shy and nervous that they had planned to get rid of me. And other people were like, no, give him a chance. He'll come out of his shell. Long story short, my teacher friend who directed, his mom was my teacher.
Okay.
When she came to see the show. His mom was my 5th grade teacher. And she's crying. He's like, yeah, no, I know I did a good job. She goes, not you, Charlie. He's so quiet, this kid in 5th grade. Now he's on stage. So I started in high school. I was lucky enough to have, now actually Christ the King, the full name is Christ the King Regional, because I think there is another Christ the King somewhere
Yeah.
in New York. But they are now known for their theater program. Kids
Really?
audition to get in. It's not a specialized high school.
Wow.
Obviously, from the name, it's a Catholic school. But kids audition to get into the theater program. So
Cool.
and the teacher said it's kind of because of you guys that we were able to get you on, get this on the map and have an option in the school, because
Yeah.
there really wasn't. And then we also had a theater class and a theater club within high school. So from sophomore to senior year, that's all I really did.
That's good.
Extracurricular,
I
yeah.
actually played Jan. I was one of the Pink Ladies.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's such a fun
But it's such a great show.
It is.
It's
And at
so
that
much
age,
fun.
especially. It's funny because now that you're an adult, like, it's always a good show, but if you were to do it now, you're like, okay, it is what it is. But when you're a teenager
I know,
doing
doing
it, it's like,
it.
oh, this is perfect.
It's a lot of fun. So, obviously, you did act in school.
Yeah.
And then, what did you want to be when you grew up? I mean, because you went to study at LIU.
LIU in Brooklyn, yeah.
And what were you majoring and minoring in?
So I decided, by the time senior year came around, I knew I liked the acting.
Okay.
But I also come from a background where it's like, well, are you really going to make it? Have a plan B.
You gotta.
So I said, look, the acting, realistically, you could keep that dream alive and you can keep it going, like I've done.
Yeah.
I have a full-time career.
Yeah.
It's also not acting, but I've kept it alive. I've
Right.
kept going. So when I got into college, it was one of those things, and a lot of people going through college now, I feel bad for these kids because it's like, this is your first year, all right, decide what you're going to do with the rest of your life, and it doesn't work that way. So
Right.
I
It
really didn't know.
doesn't. How many kids today, and I know a few of them, they go to college, they get their major, and they
change
come out,
everything. Yeah.
they're not even working.
No.
Doing what they
I've
planned on doing.
been lucky. So I went in, and I was thinking for some reason I was going to do pharmacy because I have family that does pharmacy.
Pharmacist.
But I'm horrible in math. And I'm like, I would have killed somebody.
Okay.
So all of a sudden I said, I really need something that I love to come to school for and then see where that leads career-wise.
Right.
So I've always loved English literature.
Okay.
So that's what I studied.
Yes.
And I had an opportunity when I was in school to do a work study where I worked with kids.
Okay.
In my old school that I went to in Ridgewood as a kid.
Wow.
And it just solidified it, like feeling in the classroom
Yeah.
of
So that's
helping
when you
a kid
knew
and seeing their eyes
I
light
want
up.
to teach.
So so I'm like, this is it. It's teaching. And then, but always in the back of my mind, I'm like, and acting, We'll see how I could do both.
Right.
But I didn't end up studying acting until years later. So I did go to Stella Adler
Right.
years later because I'm
Right.
like, if I like it, I actually stopped. I
Right.
took myself out of the acting game totally. Because
You
I'm like,
did.
look, I
You did.
love teaching.
Yeah.
I'm busy with
And you
teaching.
teach 8th grade English.
Well, now
right?
this year, 6th grade. So I've taught 8th
Oh.
grade, then I was a dean, and then I've taught 6th grade. So currently, going
okay.
back in September, I'll be 6th grade again, but all English.
Okay. And how long have you been teaching? A long time.
20. I'm going into my 24th year.
Wow. And you look 34.
Yeah, and I feel 60.
Well, thank you for teaching our children
Thank you.
because
No, it's great.
you're
It's-
molding the future, minds.
I've been lucky. I'm
and-
in a good school, good kids,
What,
good families.
give a shout out to your school. Where are you teaching?
It's Frank Sanseveri, IS 73. It's in
IS
Maspeth. Yeah.
73. Nice. And you are a very cool teacher.
I try.
You are.
I
We
try.
actually have a picture of
boy.
of you as a rapper, and it should say rapper on the picture. And I think this was you.
It could
in
have been.
school,
Yeah.
right?
So what we did with these.
Come on, did you hear me? Rapper picture.
Oh, there we
Ah,
go.
thank you very much. Well, that was like
Yeah.
a Run DMC
Yes,
thing.
so that was, I believe, our senior. So we did a few different things. I've done this get up a few times. One of them, that was, I
Thank
think,
you.
our senior show.
You look great.
And then I did it this year. I
You're
did
a
it.
cool teacher. Come on.
I try. They love it. This year I did it for the decades, and I did 80s, and I brought in a speaker, and I was blasting Run DMC in the hallways, and the kids actually stopped and danced. So it was pretty
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah, you have to like
It's
what you
fun.
do. Yeah.
It's fun when you get the kids, when it's relatable.
Right, and that's what they
and
want.
you connect.
Right,
you
right.
know,
I've been
that's
very lucky,
huge.
and not just. Listen, I
Because
know.
that's a hard 8th grade. Those are
Eighth,
hard
yes,
ages.
yes.
You know.
They don't know who they are. They want attention. They don't know how to get it.
Right.
I've been very lucky. I've been invited to former students' weddings.
I know.
And I'm very like, yeah, I'm okay. I try not to give myself compliments. I don't know what that is, but I don't give myself compliments.
Yeah.
But basically what I learned is that you just got to do what you got to do. You do it with love, and then
Yeah.
Some people will.
Well, one of your former
appreciate
students,
it.
their mom reached out to me.
Yes.
Katrina?
Katrina was a great girl.
Is it Zach?
Shaka. Well, that's the way we would say it. You know, it's funny because
I know, everything's
I read
pronounced
all
two
the
different ways in English and Italian, but she reached out to me saying, my daughter had him as a teacher. He's so talented.
That's nice. But another great family. This is what I
Yeah,
mean, you know?
yeah.
And I'm saying, like, I hear from the kids when they're graduating, and then I run into them as adults.
Right.
And that's when you know you really did something
Yeah,
because it's an
yeah,
adult
yeah.
telling you,
Because
look,
you're
this
making
is what,
such an impression.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing. You're making such an impression
Yeah,
on them.
and it's nice. It's
which
nice
is
to know.
huge. I know you love teaching.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've been doing it for so long. So I want to talk about your acting. First, we're both Virgos and we're both September babies. His birthday is the September 5th,
Yeah.
the day before mine. Mine's the 6th. So it's another thing we have in common. But so you actually started back in '98. You did something called Ttime.
Yes, so that was, oh my God, I forgot that. That was, so when I was in college, in high school, so that was in my college years.
Right.
I did a ton of background work, which if anybody out there has done background work, it's nice for like the first hour, and then you're like, okay, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of waiting
yeah,
around.
It's 15-hour days.
A lot of just waiting
Yes,
around until they
yes.
need you.
And Ttime, I'm surprised it even shows up because it was an
did.
indie. It was
Yeah.
an indie. I can't even remember. It was an indie, and it was one of my college years, and
Right.
I just did background on it, but it
Then
shows
again,
up.
you waited another 10 years.
Yeah.
You had like a little,
Well, that's so I got
hiatus.
yeah. So I got out of it. I really did, and I said, you know what? I'm happy teaching.
doing
like
what you
yeah.
were doing.
And if I were to get back into it, it'll fall into my lap, somehow.
Right.
So I realized I did love the acting too much to just let it go totally. So I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the right way. So that's when I went to Stella Adler.
Right.
And I took the whole slate of everything I felt like I needed at the
Had to
moment.
audition.
So at the time it was voice,
Scene study.
movement, scene study, and then one of the classes was also like their technique, because obviously different acting
Yeah,
schools.
yeah.
And I'm so glad I went because a lot of people anybody that wants to get into this, I think that talent is this much, but you are going to go up again. And I tell a lot of my students and other people that ask about it, you are in a big pool of competition. And people that you're competing with have some kind of training. So it's
Right,
not enough. Even
right.
like people who sing, people
what
who
do
do
you have
sports.
in your arsenal?
Right. You have to
The
have
more
the
you
training.
have,
100%.
the better the chance you have.
Yeah, and when I went back to the acting classes, I'm like, all right, this is just for me.
Right,
I want to
right,
have something.
right.
So if I start a resume,
Yeah.
it shows people I'm taking this seriously. Not like, well, I just feel like doing it because it's fun.
Right. Right.
And
right.
luckily that maybe has led to some of the connections I made now.
Yeah,
But it also gives
absolutely.
me, some kind of basis.
Yeah.
And it's funny with acting classes because you learn these techniques and then
And
little
everyone
things
listen,
stick.
and I've had many acting teachers throughout the years, and everyone teaches differently, and
differently.
you take away something from each one.
Right. And
know?
even like right now I'm reading a book by The Respect
Which
for
one?
Acting, Uda Hagen.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, okay, so this kind of aligns with what they said in Stella Adler. And really, you end up like making your own technique, you know.
do,
And
you
then
do.
sometimes like you do these auditions, it's like, that's all out the window. It's like, okay, what do I have to do? Because now with the TV, it's like realism.
Yes.
Like you just have to be real. You just have to be
That's,
believable.
acting is reacting.
Yeah.
We always say that. And it's just being authentic.
Right.
Just being
right,
authentic.
and that's the key, especially, film, but definitely television. Definitely,
yeah.
These
Yeah.
network TV shows.
Well, we're going to get to your network in a minute. But so you did, again, 2008, you did One Last Beat, which was a short.
Yeah, so One Last Beat.
You played an accomplice.
Yes. Oh, so that was, actually somebody that I know, like a family member who now, I forgot what she does in the industry, but she's in the industry. That was fun. That was real fun. I had to drive a getaway car, and I did this turn. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't crash into any of the parked cars. So that was cool. That was another, and she was, again, it was a short, but she's breaking in. Now I believe she's in the industry, but I think she kind of changed gears, which a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And I don't think she's shooting anymore. She might be more behind the scenes, but that was fun.
2014, you did The Cactus and the Hermit, Crab,
Yes.
which was also a short, and you played Mr. Farnsworth.
This is great. So this was a kid, and I call everybody younger than me a kid, but his name is Andrew Abale. He's from Long Island.
Yes.
Was studying this.
Yeah.
And he put me in 2 of his short films. One of the nicest people. Hopefully he gets to see this.
Yeah.
One of the nicest people. ever. And he called me for 2 separate shows, and that was really fun. And it was just fun. You know, it's cool because, like, a lot of people, again, the people that try to get into this, get into the student films.
Yeah.
Because they don't forget
yes.
you, you know? They don't forget you.
It's true.
You get footage from them,
Yep.
and they call you back. Like, that was the second one. I can't. Yeah, and then he had another one that was hysterical that came before that. So when I got the call, I'm like, oh, of course I'll do it with you again. You know, he's such a nice guy. But
It's nice when you work with people. Like, again, like, this is now my 3rd time. Is it 3rd time working with Omar Moore? We did Me and My Nuts, and yeah, we're doing this, and then we're going to do something else. So when you work with someone and they know what you could bring to the table, and it's a pleasant experience, and you come prepared, you know, then they're like, I want to work with you again. And this is the 3rd time now I'm working with Omar. You know,
and it makes it easier for them because they already know what they're getting.
Correct. Yeah. You know, and this is one of the bigger projects that we're doing together. It's not a series; it's actually a full-length film. So, you know, he's like, you know, yeah, I'm excited. We're doing this. So I was like, yeah, because I love working with him. And then Gotham. Okay, so Gotham was your first network show.
First network show.
TV series. And you played Ince.
Yes.
And we have a video. So let's take a look at that. You on Gotham.
Because no problem, he said.
We had a deal already.
I gotta stand up for what is right here.
Be fair, sir. We don't have that kind of cash on hand.
That's your problem. I can wait.
We have an obligation to deliver. The doll maker doesn't tolerate failure. We need those children.
Oh, that's also your problem.
Down you go.
Down I go.
Did that hurt?
So it was great. I love that actress, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna get stabbed by her. And the other guy's Robert Duvall's cousin, Wade Duvall. He does a ton of stuff.
Really?
So that job was. So it was funny because.
So how'd you get that?
I got that. My agent called me and he said, so if you, it was summer. It was around July 12th, I want to say.
Right.
I was on summer vacation, and my agent said, oh, by the way, I just submitted you for something. If they're interested, will you be available, blah, blah, blah,
Such
these
and
days?
such a date.
So, yeah, this is perfect. I'm like, I don't even have to think about it.
Right.
You know. So, yeah, whatever. And I was actually at my friend Jocelyn's house. Jocelyn, Maria, and I, we were just hanging out. And I'm on the phone. I'm like, yeah. I'll just, whatever, do what you got to do, and I'm around.
Yeah.
He calls me back. He's like, oh, you booked it. Now, mind you, this is my first. So I didn't audition for that. I got it from a headshot, which is rare.
Wow.
So this is literally my first.
Just your look.
Yeah. The first paid job I did was actually a commercial for a Polish airline, Lot Airlines. I know I don't say it the right way.
Okay.
But that I got, I don't even remember how I got that. That was during my college years. But this one, I got it just on a look. I'm like, okay, so it's a TV show. I guess I'm not speaking because there's no script. I asked my agent for the script because like you said, you want to go prepared.
Just stand there and you get stabbed.
So he sends me the side and it says, Ince, ouch. I say, okay, so I say one word, you know, but it was a great experience because before I booked that, I was a huge fan of the Adam West reruns.
Yeah.
And I loved Batman. I always liked Batman. And there was a lot of press about this show coming out, you know, this prequel to Batman. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool, Gotham City.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is the first show I get, you know, this new hot show. And I got it from the headshot.
Wow.
Went for the whole experience was cool. Yeah, the costume. Yeah, that's it.
That's amazing.
But even like the costume department, that whole experience, like that was my first.
Much fun.
And then I got to the set. I'm in my own trailer. I'm like, okay, I can get used to this. I can get used to this.
Hey, listen, we got to get used to my first break. So we'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo! Well, hi there, Theresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Ttime on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Theresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm with my friend Charlie Salsa, and he's an actor, and he also sings. The man can hold a note. And let me tell you, I'm very, very impressed. So listen, we're talking about his career, acting. I just want to say, John York from General Hospital, he's back on GH. He was battling 2 forms of cancer, and I'm so happy that he's back on GH. Charlie, 2015, you did Difficult People, which was a TV series,
yes.
and you played Brett Glass.
That was fun. That was, so I don't know if people know Billy Eichner. He's
Yeah.
So that's his first big thing.
Wow.
With Julie Klausner. And it was this funny scene where he goes into this like bar where there's like all these internet people, you know, and I'm this guy telling people I have this talk show with my brothers, and our whole purpose is like to go to shows and make fun of them, you know. So it's like a smattering of like all these people in this bar.
2016. Hey, you did another network TV series called Vinyl.
Yes,
and
that
you
was
played
great.
Moose.
Yes.
Let's see that scene, shall we?
Hey, Skippy, we got a car game Thursday, so make room.
Wow.
with
So
the
you got
wig.
rid of the goatee.
They told me to get rid of
they
the
give
wig.
you a
Was
wig.
crazy.
You look totally different.
Yeah, it's that wig alone is human hair. It's like, you know, you learn about.
Hey,
like,
they only use top shelf
Yeah.
stuff on network.
yeah, it was amazing.
How much fun was that, though?
That was cool. I was excited.
Where'd you film that?
So that was actually Sunset Park. That was an actual factory that still makes LPs.
Really?
So the whole show, I don't know if people are familiar with it, is set. It's the music industry in the 1970s.
Yeah.
So they found this place that still pressed vinyl records.
Wow.
But I was excited to do that because of the 2 main producers, Scorsese and Mick Jagger.
Yes.
Like, wow, this is great. And
Yes.
I'm like, maybe because I believe Scorsese had.
We actually have a picture with you and Scorsese.
Yes, and this
We do.
picture
Yeah.
was before I even booked vinyl. I actually met him at a Raging Bull event.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where it was? All right, so we'll show it. We'll show it later if you can't pull it now. Also, you did Quality Control, which was a short. You play an auditor.
Yes. That was interesting. That was Joe LoBianco, who we both know.
Yes, we do.
It was an interesting futuristic, kind of like Twilight Zone
Yeah.
kind of episode. Like, it was the same feel as like the Twilight Zone.
2018, you did. Is it Dietland?
Dietland.
Dietland. Hello,
Dietland. Yeah.
Dietland, which was a TV series. You played an Italian film director.
Yes, that was interesting because that's based on a novel, and I actually I bought the book and I marked the page that my characters. I'm like, I played somebody who's in a book.
Yeah.
And it was basically the scene where these women got together and they were polishing off people like Harvey Weinstein's of the world.
That's funny. Now, did you have to speak Italian at
Yeah,
all?
so
'Cause
the audition,
he's
I'm fluent in Italian. Yeah. And the audition was not that. You got this. I got the script, and it said Italian director with a strong Italian accent.
Right.
So I auditioned with the Italian accent.
Right.
But just for myself, because you know you try to do all these
You
things
could
to help
add
you.
something. You could add something.
Yeah. So what I did actually, and it worked out. I actually on my phone did a translation of the lines in Italian just to have it in the back of my mind. You never know. It's like at the audition, can you pull it out?
Right.
So at the audition, I just did it straight up
Right.
English with the Italian accent. But that night we were shooting,
Yeah.
and the director was talking, oh, I love Italy. I go there all the time. And then he says to me, you speak Italian? I said, yeah. He goes, do it in Italian. I'm like, okay. So I took out the phone. I'm like, all right, let me just look at the translation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, most of the people that came here
Well,
speak some kind of dialect.
Right, we speak the Sicilian dialect.
Yeah.
I mean, speak. Like, I understand it more than speak it. I'm not
No, I'm
fluent
fluent
like
in
you.
both, yeah.
But, like, you know,
So it
the
is
proper
different, yeah,
Northern
right.
is different
Right.
from Southern.
So I had it on my phone. I'm like, okay, we're doing it in Italian. That goes to show, like,
Nice.
you know,
You never know.
whatever you do and
You
your
were
special
prepared.
skills, you have
He
to.
was prepared.
I was.
And then
whatever
you
say
did-
you could do, you need to be able to do.
Too bad you couldn't film it in Italy. Wouldn't that
Oh,
have
that
been
would
nice?
have been cool.
You did Fluff, which was a short.
Yes,
You played a
that's
client.
my friends of mine. They did that, and it was so much fun. And there was the Schrader brothers, I call them. They were so much fun because they were the two directors that like, all right, we'll give you the premise, but you just kind of go with it.
Right.
And then they told me something because it was this guy trying to get like a loan for like his inventions.
Yeah.
And they got more and more bizarre. So the guy who was playing the guy who would give me the loan,
Yeah.
one scene I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make dentures for babies. And he wasn't expecting that, so you
that's
just see his
funny.
face. It was like,
That's
wait, what?
hysterical.
And they're in the hallway like dying laughing because they don't want to be heard from the microphones.
Right.
But it was great. It's nice because you go to these, they just want to work with you. They
That's
want to
the
see,
whole- that's
and it
the
was
whole
pretty
thing.
cool because it's like, here you go, free reign.
Yeah. Don't you
Here's
love
the
that?
premise. Go with it.
2019, you did High Maintenance, which was a TV series. You played a dude, some kind of towny
So
dude.
that became like a cult hit. That's an HBO show.
There you go.
Yeah, and it became like a cult thing. And it's funny because years later, two people that I work with said, oh, I saw you on a rerun of High Maintenance.
Don't you love that?
That's pretty cool. That hardly happens to me because I'm not big, But it's interesting that show took on like a life of its own. It's like this
Right.
whole stoner lifestyle, but it's really cool.
But listen to me. Third network booking, Blue Bloods.
That was-
Okay, now,
Yeah.
Blue Bloods, obviously, they're trying to,
yeah, they're trying to
they're
revive
trying to
it.
bring it back. They
Yeah,
don't
they
want
said
it.
there
They
was
don't
an-
want it to end.
No, there was an article that it might be possibly brought back.
I hope so.
Hopefully I
And you
get back on
played
it.
Derek, who's the super, and you were in 2 episodes, and we actually have both videos. Let's take a look.
Everything okay? No, everything's not okay. This plumber came into my apartment and stole my necklace.
My name's Derek. I'm the building super.
Whatever. Wait till my husband gets home.
I'm sorry to bother you, Officer Jenkins. I'll clear this up.
You're an officer? Good. Arrest that man.
Is it possible you just misplaced it?
No, it was stolen right out of my safe.
I think you're a little confused, ma'am. You know what? I'm sure you just misplaced it like Officer Janko said. Do you want us to help you look?
No.
You? Okay. In here is the compactor chute and recyclables bins. And
Got it.
here we are.
Wow, it's nice.
Here's 2 sets.
Thank you.
Wait a second.
Now what?
Old tradition, groom carries his bride across the threshold of the new home, and it brings good luck. You mind taking a picture?
Oh.
Thank you. So you ready, Mrs. Janko Reagan?
Oh my god.
There was a lot of
I
little
love
things-
it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was so funny.
Now people don't realize how long did it actually take to film?
I was there for about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. So the whole thing is like, I keep telling people, like, I watch it and you're like, you could think you're in a building, but that's all in a set in Greenpoint.
It's all
it's all fake walls
in Brooklyn.
and the
Isn't
set,
that amazing?
Yeah, the second
It's
scene was
amazing.
actually the first scene. So we're coming out as like makeshift
Right,
wall.
right,
But there's all
right.
these little things that they like when
So
I
it was
open
like
the
your
door.
introduction as
Right, the first episode I didn't
as
even have a
Derek.
name.
No,
So the first
but they
episode,
gave you one
I
in
was
the
right.
second.
The second
Isn't
one
that
because I
cool?
guess I was
I
established.
hope they bring you back.
I was hoping, and then hopefully the show comes back and I go back.
Listen, maybe they'll I don't know, show them moving to the
She
same
said
building, a
something
bigger
interesting.
apartment.
So when I was shooting that day, I was a
Yeah.
nervous wreck. I'm always a nervous wreck. And I said to them, I'm like, I hope this episode stays in because the director's like, you got to speak fast. Otherwise you get
Yes.
kicked out
Yeah,
because
yeah,
when
yeah.
we audition, we have that luxury of kind of speaking in a
Right,
normal
right,
tone,
right,
but
right.
TV works this way, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, a lot of the fans didn't like the way we shot the wedding because this is the season right after the wedding.
Yes, yeah.
And they're like, this will probably make it in, you know?
You know
But,
how I noticed that though? Gilmore Girls.
Mm.
Do you know how fast they talked in Gilmore Girls?
Well, it's funny you say that because I've
fast.
auditioned for those people, and
Really?
they put that in the script in
It's-
the
it is so
email.
fast. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and it's like I felt like I was speeding, but when you watch it, it sounds normal.
Yes, exactly.
It was funny
because
because we had all these little things like I had to
'cause you say,
time the
yeah, of
flash
course.
to an actual flash,
Right.
and then the door kept closing.
Closing.
So we
Yeah.
had, you can't tell from there, but we had somebody holding the doorknob. There's like all these little things. Like,
Hold
oh,
the
man.
doorknob. 2020. So you were on Blue Bloods 2019, 2020.
Yeah,
Like I
so
said,
same
you were in the,
season.
Yeah.
Episode 1 and 17.
2020 you did Unbound, which is a
Hmm.
movie with our friend Deborah Toscano.
Yes.
And you played Detective John McGlone.
Yes.
How much fun was that? I know I watched the trailer, and it looks really, really, really
was
good.
fun. It was another one of those things. So the director and writer is a guy named Steve Rahaman. He does a lot of his own films. And another one, it's like you know, he just made you so comfortable. You get your lines, but it's more than you're more than welcome.
Right, because you never know what kind of set you're gonna walk onto.
No, you don't.
You know,
you don't.
You're hoping it's chill and it's not tense.
Right. I felt like with. Well, I'm not gonna say too much, but like one of them, like one of the directors was like making me even more tense. I'm like, oh man, I just hope I deliver.
Right. Yeah.
It's not easy.
You just want to keep it. Hightown.
That was fun.
Love Hightown.
That was fun.
Okay, we don't obviously have a clip from that, but that is a TV series that I love to watch. You played an inmate.
Yeah, I almost didn't make that cut. So what happened was when they shoot again, another thing you don't know is how much you're going to see yourself.
Well, that's the whole thing, is because you don't know if you're going to end up on the editing floor.
That happened to me in my last two shows.
Hey,
that happened to me, but I'm.
Artie Pasquale went to do Tulsa King.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Edit it.
Yeah, that happened to me on my last two shows. You just don't know. But with this one, it's interesting because I was an inmate. I had a whole line, and one of the stars interacted with me.
Right.
So I wasn't worried about the scene getting cut out because it just kind of made sense to fit.
Yeah.
But what happened was when they shoot, they put cameras all over.
Yeah.
And there was at one point.
more than one camera.
Yes. Or they just switch the positions. And
yeah.
at one point I had a camera literally in front of me. And in my mind I'm like, this is gonna be awesome footage. The show goes on and you see my profile, but you hear my voice. So you hear my voice before you see my profile,
right?
But they actually cut up like the guy Amari comes up to me and squeezes my shoulder and has another line. So it is edited out, but I did make the final cut.
It's the way they It's the way they do it. The Honey Zoomers, which was a TV series. You played Johnny D.
That was fun. So that was that Charles Messina is the writer, and that you could probably still find on YouTube. It was during the pandemic.
Yes.
It was like a takeoff on the Honeymooners.
Yes.
I played this like really like corny character who thought he was like this, Brooklyn rapper kind of guy. The great people. The stars Johnny Tomorrow. Oh my God, I just forget my friend's name. Jolie. I forgot her last name. Sorry, Jolie. But they're both doing a lot of great things. They just workshopped a musical about Dion, and it's looking like it might come to Broadway, and they might be in it. Jolie Trevuzio.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
See, you knew it was going to come to you. 2023, you did Power Book 3, Raising Kanan.
That's the one I got cut out.
That's the one he got edited out.
It's funny.
But you were there.
I was there.
You got paid.
I got paid, and I just got a residual for it. That's what the union's nice for. But
you played Stan.
Yeah, so it was this like barfly in this dive bar, and it was interesting because you don't know like. It was basically a line that I personally felt I'm like, I don't get where this line.
Okay. Like it
why
was
it has
pulled
to be
out of
here.
the air.
Yeah. So I kind of felt like
it didn't fit.
It was gonna
like the line should have been a different.
Yeah. Because it kind of sets the tone for the bar.
Yeah.
This is me and this lady like making fun of this lady.
Yeah.
And you could tell like these two people always come to this dive bar.
Right.
But it just didn't serve the episode.
Right. I get it. I totally.
And then I did the other one that I loved doing, but I got cut out, was Girls 5 Ever actually. And then I did that. They even told my agent like, because of time constraints, his line's not in it.
All right. Well, listen, it is what it is.
It is.
Do you have anything coming up that you're working
Hopefully.
on? I know you're submitting. You're submitting
I
auditions.
just auditioned this week 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And you just don't know. That's kind of nice and frustrating.
Now,
it's nice because
you became SAG.
Yeah, I became SAG right before I booked Gotham. I actually got in through AFTRA.
Right.
And then they merged.
And
I took advantage of that merge and kind of got in.
Yeah, a lot of people did at the time. Yeah.
It just made sense because SAG was very hard. There's a whole world like of getting paid SAG dues, and before you did it, it had to be very particular situations to even get that. So and I didn't have any of those situations, so I kind of like worked my way in that way. But it was a perfect timing because Gotham was the first big network thing, and I had to be SAG, so it worked out.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, listen, I'm going to take my next break. Don't go away. More with Charlie after this.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of Zenkuda. You can watch me on the Soul Space podcast every Friday at noon on Channel 20 for spiritual guidance. And as you all know, that is how I first opened into my own psychic gifts, was through the angelic realm, astrology. So we've got Mars and the Sun together in Scorpio, which creates a lot of combustion. In the astrological world, we call that a kazemi, and tarot. With the Four of Cups right side up, it means we have a lot of choices to make, and we're not looking at what's really being divinely given to us. We're too busy in the busyness of the choices to really see the divine intervention, the divine timing, and the divine guidance. We're the place. Watch the Soul Space podcast.
How you doing? It's Sal, the voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Theresa Canastraci Ttime with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Theresa on Facebook, Ttime with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love. Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm trying to get Sal back on my show. He did my show about 5 years ago. And it's time. It's time to have him back on and catch up. So keep my fingers crossed for my birthday month in September. Let's see. So Charlie's here, Salsa. But on Facebook, he goes by Charlie Sicily. Okay, so if you want to look at what he's doing, go to Charlie Sicily on Facebook and Instagram.
No, Instagram, it's csalsa76.
Is it? So you have two of them?
I do have, actually I do.
He has two of them, okay.
You're right, you're right.
Of course I'm right because I put it on Insta.
So either one works, actually.
Okay.
Charlie Sicily, all one word, or csalsa76. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason I was having an issue with my original and I started my second.
We are both proud Sicilian Americans. You know, I know you are as myself. I hope to get there one day. You've been to Sicily how many times?
About 5 times.
Italy.
About 5 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm trying to go maybe next year. We'll see. I was supposed to go last year. Didn't go. Maybe next year. Well, we will get into your traveling because you're a man of the world. But before we do, we have some picks. If you listen to me, I have met a lot of celebrities in my life, but not as much as this man and who he has met. A couple of them I've met, but no. So let's throw them up. Let's go through them. There's you and Marty.
That was a great night. We got to, actually his father's family's from my parents' town. So that was the connection.
Really?
And the way, I got to tell you this story, but the way it happened was like meant to be. There's a really cool story behind that picture.
Who do we have next? We're just going to go through them. Thank you. You and Chaz.
I took one of his classes. That's from his class. I did a 3-day class with him. He's a great actor, great teacher.
Ralph Bracco just took his class and
it's
telling
so
me, T, you got to take it.
It's so worth it. He's such a good teacher. That's when I saw her. She was amazing. She did the Mountaintop, I think it was called. Angela Bassett. She was great.
Yeah. If I don't mention their name, Chris.
Chris Rock.
Hello. Now, Chris and I met years ago in the early 90s. I was doing a comedy show at the comic strip, and he walked in and he bumped me, which was like, all right, Chris, you can bump me anytime you want. Who do we got next? We'll just keep going. Colin.
Colin Farrell, great guy.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Colin Quinn.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Oh my God, I said Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Quinn.
I will correct you. And
this is in my neighborhood.
Who's that?
Gee, that's some guy with meat. Yeah, George Clooney and Brad Pitt were doing a movie in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great?
And that's actually, I just saw the commercial for it. It's going to be on Apple TV, yeah. This is when I went to the whale screening.
You went to the whale screening, which was an
I
amazing
got a nice
movie.
conversation with Brendan Fraser, who was great. This is right before he won the Oscar.
What a sweetheart, right?
Oh, man, what a gentleman.
This,
I caught him on the street.
Woohoo!
He was such a gentleman, too. I try. It's funny because, like, sometimes I won't ask for pictures. I'll tell him, I usually wait for somebody else to ask.
I always ask for pictures, always.
I do the thing where if somebody else is asking, or for somebody I really need to
Who else we got?
have a picture with, then I'll
Keep
ask.
going.
Jeremy Piven.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy's young.
Yeah.
Marissa.
One of my favorites. I had to see her in a play, and I had to get
people tell me you remind me of Marissa Tomei. Not physically.
The attitude, the personality.
Mannerisms, I guess, the way I...
Yeah, she's awesome. John Leguizamo.
John.
Talking about funny. This guy was
Love
hysterical.
it. Love John. Love.
Matthew Modine, that's
Matthew.
Mulberry Street.
Yep. Love him too as
Just
an
ran
actor.
in. Michael Rappaport,
Oh,
great
Michael's
actor. He was doing
great.
another film, and I just stopped and said hello.
Hi.
Michael, now this guy, he's so intense in his movies.
Isn't he?
I got to tell you, and I had to tell him, he was one of the nicest people I've ever met. And this is like my second picture with him. I saw him in more than one production.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, "You gonna come out later?" You know, and he actually looked for me at the end. And he's just a gentleman. He's a great actor, but just a nice guy. Michelle Williams. That's when she was in Cabaret.
Yeah.
So sweet.
She's great. Paul.
Oh, I forgot I had that.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the same. So this I got my nephew
Ralph.
loves. Who my age, you grew up with Karate Kid.
Yes.
So this is my nephew loves Cobra Kai, so I got a signed book for my nephew.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I've seen Ralph talk about his last name.
Macchio.
You're saying it now. You see, he said it the right way in
Yeah.
Italian because he said it's not
It's
Macchio.
not Macchio. The CH,
it's Macchio.
Right, in Italian, the CH is a K sound.
Yes.
So it's
and
actually
he said
Ralph Macchio.
it just, someone said it one day and it stuck.
And it's stuck, yeah.
Right.
Well, phonetically English, it looks like Macchio.
Correct.
The other day, somebody mentioned and said Ralph Macchio. I'm like, this is the only other person I've heard besides me.
Yeah.
Say it that way.
Because I've heard him say it. What else we got? Anything else?
Oh, this
you and
one. I was
Steven
literally
Spielberg.
shaking. I wish so the theater was all blue, as you can see.
Yes,
And I went
it had
up
a
to him
blue
and I said,
light.
I'm not going to bother him. But I asked him, gentleman, I spoke to him. And I said to him, can I get a picture? He goes, it'll be my pleasure.
Oh, how
Stood up. His wife was
nice.
very nice. And that was the day of the SAG rally. I had my SAG t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Al.
one of my favorites.
As
Another
my
nice
friend
guy.
Michael Longo, and I will send him this show, calls him Uncle Al because when Al comes to New York, Michael Longo is his personal
That's so
bodyguard.
Cool.
And his kids call him Uncle Al.
Great shot, great show.
And you and Joan, can we
she
talk?
Was something else. She was so cool.
Joan Rivers. Oh, this is,
We actually talked about Howard Stern there.
I saw a lot of these pics and I was a little envious, I have to say.
I have to say, it's nice to have the pics. This guy, Bobby. Okay, Bobby kind of
Bobby! Great
You
actor.
look like you want to take
Another
that picture.
great actor.
Yeah.
Another great actor. I know you're always leaning in.
Yeah.
You're always leaning in. Is that it? All right, thank you. Yeah, but some great pics,
Yeah,
great
it's pretty
memories.
cool. It's a whole,
You know what I'm saying?
part
And
of the
let me tell you something.
experience.
The picture with him and Uncle Al Pacino, that's like you took like 2 or 3 pics with him.
Yeah, I've seen him
But
more
I
than
picked
once.
the nicer
That was
one.
the one
Because there was
that
one
was,
with his eyes closed.
Yeah, he was looking down. Right.
You know.
That was the
but-
one that I framed actually. I have
Yeah.
the Scorsese and the Pacino one.
Yes,
framed. I got to get
yeah.
a De Niro one. That's it. That's my
Yeah.
holy grail.
That's
the De Niro.
That's it. The
Which I met
trifecta.
him. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But it's great. It's great to you see these people and you love their work,
Right.
and respect their work, and then when
Right.
you get to actually meet them and tell them, it's nice.
a whole different
But
thing,
like,
right.
absolutely. If I met Chaz and I was like, can I take a pic with you? And he's like, yeah. And Armand DeSante was there and a bunch of other people, and I'm like, I'm taking pics all night.
Yeah, absolutely. Why
You
not?
know?
I mean, if they're, look,
If
you know how to
they're
read the situation,
if they're
right?
willing, and they say
Right.
yes. Why
Yeah,
not?
you have to read
why
the
not?
situation,
You know,
too.
as my father, my wise Sicilian father always said, it never hurts to ask.
Right.
Because all a person could say is no.
That's it.
So I'm used to no's.
As
know
an
what I'm
actor, you
saying?
have to be.
It's not
We get
gonna,
no's every day.
We do. And getting back to your acting, like you said, you submit. You do have an agent.
Yes.
Which is
Yes,
helpful.
which is a key. Yeah.
That's my next thing on my list to do. But like I mentioned before, Charlie is an amazing singer. He really are. I
Thank
mean, you can blow those notes, let me tell you. And my favorite song he sings is Tennessee Whiskey.
Oh, that's a fun one.
It's a great, great song. And he called me up one day. He's like, what are you doing? They're doing some kind of piano karaoke in was it Lynbrook or Rockville Center?
Rockville Center.
Was it considered Rockville Center or Lynbrook? Lynbrook?
That's fine because that's
It was
like right on the
right
borderline.
on
Yeah.
Sunrise Highway.
Yeah. So that
And I'm like, I forgot what the place was called. It was a coffee place.
it's called Ground Central. There's a few.
Ground Central, and they do it like they're once a
Yeah,
month or
he's
something.
there,
We
and
got to
then
go back.
we do.
But it was
I
so
keep
much fun. They
searching to
have
see
all
if he's
these,
gonna-
books, musical books from like Broadway show tunes and whatever. And
Yeah.
it's very different.
Yeah. You
Singing
can, right.
with a live piano.
It was like your own cabaret show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was,
a lot of
and
fun.
I'm
We had a
hoping
lot
to
of
go
fun.
back.
Then we went to go eat afterwards, which was great. But I was saying before that you are a man of the world. You love to travel.
I do.
And sometimes by yourself.
Yeah,
which
I've
kudos
been on many
to
tours,
you.
yeah.
You get on a plane and you don't care, you go.
Yeah.
So you've been to like Italy like 6 times?
5, 6 times. I lost. Probably more actually.
Right?
Yeah, probably
and when you
more.
go to
'Cause I've done 2
Sicily,
tours.
you have family there.
Yes. So
But
my
you've
father's
been-
family basically stayed. It's my mother's family who really came here.
Okay.
My father has cousins here, but all his brothers and one sister live there,
Right.
and they have kids. Now
Yeah.
the kids are
And what part
older
of
than me.
Sicily is your family
So
from?
they're all mostly in Palermo,
Okay.
the capital, because my
Okay.
father was living there for a long time.
Right.
But also, we are originally from a town called Polizzi Generosa, which I was saying during the pictures, Scorsese's dad is from.
The same town.
Same time. And I just found out because they posted pictures, there's Souses in his family.
Really?
Yes. So I have to see if I'm one of those Souses or if it's another wing of the
Wow.
Souses. But also the designer Domenico Dolce from Dolce Gabbana.
Yeah.
My mother actually works for his father because my mother was a seamstress.
Wow.
And she remembers Domenico Dolce as a
So
little
you
kid.
never had to go out and worry about hemming pants.
Not at all. Not at
It's
all. Between my
lovely growing up
grandmother
with
and
a
my mother,
seamstress.
yeah.
You get
That's
very,
what they
very
did. They came to
spoiled,
this
let me
country and
tell
they were,
you.
yeah.
Yes, they did.
That was the whole workforce.
Amazing, amazing. But you've been all over. Italy, France,
France,
Prague.
England, Prague, Budapest, Vienna, Spain, Portugal,
Oh.
Switzerland.
All right, so
Feel
out
like
of
I'm missing
all the
something.
places you've been to, and take Italy out of the equation, what was your favorite spot?
You know what? People ask me this, and I can't answer because every place is slightly different. So, for example, when I went to Spain, I was in Barcelona, Madrid. Thought that was cool, but listen, I'm in New York. I love New York, and a lot of people aren't feeling that way lately, but I love New York, and I felt like Madrid and Barcelona, as beautiful as they were, you feel the city vibe.
Right.
So it wasn't
you wanted
much
to go
different.
outside
So when we
of
did a
that.
day trip to Montserrat, which is up in the mountains,
You see, yeah.
and there's this church there with this Black Madonna, which is like world famous.
Yeah.
It was just a whole different experience. So for
Yeah.
me, the traveling is just seeing different places.
Right,
you know, like even
right.
like Palermo
Right.
is a city.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, it's you could tell it's a much different city from New York.
Right.
So a lot of times it comes
that's
into
the
like
whole
the
thing. It's like-
foods and
like-
the festivals.
Like I'm going to Greece
Yeah.
next month. I'm very excited. I have not traveled in about 15 years. I was supposed to go away before COVID, and then COVID came, and
Yeah.
that went down the tubes. And yeah, so was going to go to Italy last year. I hesitated, and then it was sold out. I was supposed
I
to
know,
go
and
with my
that's what I'm doing right
girlfriend.
now. I'm like in between plans. I'm
Right,
like,
because I know you, because he teaches, you can only go away in the summer months.
yeah. I mean, there's
when they
certain
jack
breaks,
up
but
the
right,
prices.
I know.
So I
know.
am going to Greece next month. I am very, very, very excited about
Yeah,
it.
that's beautiful. I
And
just see the
a lot of
pictures.
people who are Greek and know Greece are telling me, like,
The
if
local
you
spots.
if you have a day to yourself, which we do, to go to these little towns
what
that
it is.
aren't far from where we're going to be,
Right.
just to see something different. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the beauty of Sicily. Sicily has ridiculous history. So
Yeah.
even like where my parents grew up,
Right.
it started as a Byzantine fortress. The church my parents got married in dates back to the 1100s. Wow. You know, so the cobblestones, like, you're surrounded by history.
Now, both
you know?
your parents are from
From the same town.
From
They
the
knew
same
each other when they
town.
were young, and then
They
they both
did.
moved though. So my father and mother both moved out of the town into Palermo, the capital, as teenagers / young adults. I don't
Right,
know,
right,
remember the
right.
exact age.
Wow.
And then my mother actually came here with her family, and went back, married my father, and then he came. So that's why his family really just stayed.
Yeah,
So it's nice
my
when-
father's father, my grandfather on my father's side, he's the only one that came over. All his brothers
Right,
stayed, and they
right.
were all fishermen
Yes.
in
So they
Messina
probably
and Catania. They're all fishermen, but they stayed. They didn't come.
yeah when they're
it's crazy,
comfortable, you
right?
know. Yeah, my father was the only one that made the trek from his family.
It's wild.
But it's nice to go, but you have to
What'd
travel.
your father do once he got here?
So he was a chef for the longest time.
He was?
He ended up having a restaurant in Limbrook.
Really?
Yeah, he worked all over the city.
Did he
And
have it for a very, very long time?
20 years.
What was the
It
name
was
of
called
it?
Buongiorno. It was
Oh
on,
my God, I've eaten there.
Yeah, Merrick Road.
I lived in Limbrook, and then I moved to
Oh,
Franklin
wow.
Square.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Merrick Road. My father was the chef. One of the
Yes.
owners and chef.
Delicious food.
Oh, he could cook.
Oh my God.
Northern Italian, which is different from
Oh,
ours, but
yes.
that's what I was saying, you know, like you travel, and the cool thing is the culture and the foods, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Sicily,
yeah.
you got to just get
Yeah.
to the food in Sicily.
I know my brother went for his 10-year
ridiculous.
anniversary, and he said the gelato is crazy
oh,
there.
yeah, oh,
but
forget it.
everything's fresh.
No, everything's
There's no
fresh.
preservatives.
I lose
there's no
weight in
additives.
Italy.
Do you?
You eat like you go into the chair, but you lose weight. But their
Well, we
timing
always
is different.
do.
So breakfast is very small. Not like these American. They
Right,
kind of
right.
laugh at the American breakfast.
That's funny.
This is exaggerated.
I
So they
just-
have like a croissant and a coffee. Then lunch is their big meal, and then late at night they'll have pizza or something. But you get used to that. And I mean, I know I do a lot of walking when I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
But I always
That's
lost
good.
weight,
Burn
and
it
even if,
off.
like a lot of the Sicilian street food is fried,
Yeah.
but you don't feel disgusting.
Heavy, like heavy.
You don't at all.
Yeah. I just want to give some shout outs. Julie. Hi, Julie, my friends watching in Australia. And we have Arthur and Joseph Gallo. And yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. I'm sure Ann is watching and Michael Norton and all my regulars. I appreciate it. Listen, we only have like 4 minutes left. I'm not even taking my last break because I don't want to like ruin the flow. I just wanted to give some shout outs. But again, France, Prague, like I said. Now, Greece, no?
I haven't gone there yet. And I was just looking at that, and I actually got a quote, and I'm like, it's a little too much.
Well,
So
I have to tell you,
been on my
we
list.
booked it a really
You have
long
to.
time, and the airfare just went up like another $500.
Day to day.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. Now, is there a place that you haven't been that you want to go to?
So one of the few I definitely want to hit Greece because it's very similar to Italy, like our
Yes.
culture, but it just looks gorgeous. But also, I was just looking at Brussels, Luxembourg. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I've never
Okay.
been. I want to try Amsterdam.
My niece and my brother and my sister-in-law right now are in England.
So I went to London as a teenager, and I want to go back.
Yes.
I loved it.
Okay, cool.
I loved it.
And Julie from Australia, I have family.
I gotta get
I
to
have family in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
They went from Italy to Australia.
There's a lot of Italians
So
in
I joke
Australia.
around. I say, they say, good a day.
There's a lot of Italians.
Yes,
One of my
yeah,
friends. One of
yeah.
my friends that I met on one of the tours.
But that's a
She's an Italian.
24-hour
Yeah.
trip, like
Yeah.
to get there,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah.
you probably see things
My
you don't see
girlfriend
anywhere
Margie
else. I got to
went.
get there.
Margarita, she went. So she said it's an incredible.
Oh, I can't even
that's
imagine.
incredible. Yeah, you need to spend some weeks there.
Right, right.
Yeah, because it takes 2 days.
Yeah,
right,
just to
between
get there.
going and coming, and then but
That
there's
I should put on my list for the summer.
yeah.
Yeah. That in New
Well,
Zealand.
they're our summers or their winters.
That's the other thing. I know, but I wonder if it's like our winter weather-wise. We have to ask Julie.
I don't know.
If it's mild, then you could do it. You know. If it's-
Inquiring minds.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that
know.
up.
Yeah.
I don't mind going even if it's a little chilly. You know?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind either. But I'm excited to go away, and we need to go somewhere together.
Yeah,
because
that'll be
I
fun.
need a traveling buddy.
So do I.
I really,
I'm lucky. I have a
really
few,
do. But that's good.
Yeah.
So this September you'll be teaching sixth
grade again.
Okay.
ELA English.
All right. Cool.
It's funny because they know about the acting. Like they research their teachers now.
They do.
They look for everything.
God, we didn't do that back in the
No,
day.
we didn't have a way anyway.
No.
But the
You
phone
just
book,
either
the
ask
yellow
somebody,
pages.
Hey, did you have Mr. DeVito for science last year?
Right.
How was he?
That's
right?
it. No, now they look and they find my IMDb.
They find, oh my God, we got an actor
Yeah,
as a teacher.
and they come. Is it true? And it's funny because sometimes they're afraid to ask. Like recently, like towards the end of the school year, I help out at the end of the day, like making sure everybody gets home safe.
Yeah.
And I'm standing on the corner and I see this kid like lingering and looking and lingering. I'm like, okay. And he comes up, he goes, "Is it true you've acted?" I say, "Yeah." And they get a kick of it. But I also tell them like I goes, "Look, I'm a son of immigrants
Right.
that has been on TV. All right, compared to other people's careers, it is what it is, but it's still big.
Right, no.
9
it's
shows,
huge.
I think,
Listen,
9
9
gigs.
shows, 3 network.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah,
And
so-
4 if you can, Hightown, because that's
Right.
that's no. Well,
Right.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I am just so blessed. God put you in my path.
No, I'm so
I
glad
love you,
we
my
had.
friend.
Yeah,
I do.
I love
really
you.
do. And you could come back anytime you
Oh,
want.
this is fun. Yeah.
But I finally got Charlie on.
Finally.
And I'm very, very happy about that. Listen, just want to thank everyone for watching Tea Time. Next week, tune in. I don't usually announce my guests, but is another man that I met years ago, and I've been asking him to do my show. Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister.
That's gonna be cool.
Will be on next Monday, and I'm excited to have him on. He's a sweetheart, and I love him too. This week we lost Dr. Ruth. We lost Shannon Doherty.
This is
We
crazy this
lost Richard Simmons, Shelley Duvall. Prayers and condolences go out to their families. They were all great talents. And Dr. Ruth, 93,
96,
94 years
yes.
old. God bless. So we should all see that, right? And have great sex while we're doing it. Hey, everybody! Remember, tell everyone you love them, and I'll see you next week. Ciao, everybody.
Bye.